And I'm so sick and tired of the media pointing the finger at Donald Trump and saying that he is sowing division in this country. He is not. The media is for pushing hoaxes like the one that you all pushed today, and the Democrat Party is for pushing lies about him. But the good news is Americans don't buy it.
The controversy is far from over, with many believing The View has lost its way, and with good reason. Commentators have pointed out that Whoopi's actions are akin to mansplaining the role of press secretary to Karoline Leavitt, a moment many have found both hilarious and revealing.
Commentators said, Whoopi is mansplaining the press secretary job to Karoline Leavitt. Hilarious.
Karoline Leavitt, known for her bold, unfiltered, and sharp conservative viewpoints, just dropped a legal bombshell so powerful that ABC executives are now scrambling to manage the fallout and contain the growing crisis.
Echoed the sentiment that President Trump is a democracy. And if you're a deranged lunatic and you're mentally ill, you will believe that lie, and yes, you will take political.
What's even more surprising, she didn't even need to appear on The View to stir up the storm. After yet another outrageous and tone-deaf attack from Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin, Karoline didn't just respond, she went all in.
About the fact that Democrats have been labeling President Trump a to democracy for the better half of 10 years.
Now the backlash has become so intense that rumors are circulating that ABC executives are frantically urging Karoline to step back before the situation completely unravels.
He sat through a courthouse for 7 weeks this past year, and the Democrats were hoping he would go to jail for it. That is real political that has led to 2 heinous attempts on President Trump's life that, by the grace of God, he was able to escape, and he is here with us today. So yes, President Trump knows a little bit about political violence because he's experienced it.
But let's face it, this situation has already gone too far to turn back. So what exactly did Karoline say that triggered such a meltdown from Whoopi? Had Joy Behar rattled and left Sunny Hostin completely speechless for once?
Let's talk about how they have compared him to one of the worst mass in the history of the world, and that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden weaponized the court system and the justice system in this country against Donald Trump in an attempt to imprison him.
You definitely don't want to miss this. Let's set the stage because The View thought they could target Karoline Leavitt and walk away unscathed, but that turned out to be a massive mistake.
Joy Behar stunned viewers when she said Donald Trump's press secretary, 27-year-old Karoline Leavitt, only secured her position because of her good look.
The comment was particularly shocking, especially coming from Joy Behar, who is as woke as they come and prides herself on being a feminist advocate. In a recent episode, The View host completely lost control, launching a brutal, unprovoked attack on Karoline, all because she dared to be a young, successful conservative woman.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
The comment was bizarre, especially coming from Joy Behar, who is as woke as they come and positions herself as a champion of feminism.
They didn't just question her credentials. They attempted to completely undermine her. Joy Behar, with her typical smug and condescending tone, dismissed Karoline's intelligence, experience, and political knowledge as if none of it mattered.
This online commentator said, disgusting Joy Behar of The View accuses Karoline Leavitt of being hired only because Donald Trump thought she was a 10. Karoline Leavitt actually comes with real job qualifications, unlike Biden's DEI hires, Joyless Behar. This commentator doubled down, saying Karoline Leavitt was only hired by Donald Trump because she's a 10. You know that what it is. Actually, she's quite capable, unlike the last press secretary who was only hired because she was a black lady.
Instead of shrinking back from the typical elitist criticism,
like we have seen in 2 instances against President Trump. Last week, Tim Walz and Kamala Harris said that everyone who showed up to President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was a... That's despicable, dangerous, divisive rhetoric that is spewed by the Democrat Party every single day. And that's why today in 2024, President Trump is more popular than he has been since 2016, because people don't trust the media.
And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you, because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Mm-hmm. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason, because black people couldn't get into colleges. I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework, because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you, because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason, because black people couldn't get into colleges, because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. Yeah. See, this is not black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our asses to make sure that this was a person's world.
Nope. According to Joy, Karoline's career exists solely because she's a 10 in Trump's eyes. Then Whoopi Goldberg jumped in, as usual, throwing logic out the window and going on a fiery rant. She actually claimed that without wokeness, Karoline wouldn't even have a job. The hypocrisy was so thick, it was almost tangible. And just when it seemed like it couldn't get worse, the View hosts continued to dig themselves into a deeper hole. But Karoline wasn't going to sit back and take it. She had the perfect comeback that struck them where it hurt the most. Of course, Whoopi tried to make it about race, but Karoline wasn't having any of it. Instead of brushing off the nonsense, she went straight for the jugular. Karoline didn't just respond, she obliterated them. She took every insult they hurled her way and flipped it right back on them. In a now viral scorched earth response, Karoline exposed The View for exactly what it was: a group of out-of-touch elitists who claim to support women, but only if those women agree with their narrative. She held nothing back. Joy Behar was called out as the epitome of modern feminism, preaching empowerment while tearing down any woman who doesn't conform to the narrative. Karoline didn't stop there. She took aim at Whoopi's comment about needing wokeness for a job, pointing out that the entire View panel was made up of unqualified, woke ideologues. Then she took the brutal shot at Sunny Hostin, saying, "And Sunny Hostin of all people wants to talk about privilege? Give me a break." Karoline landed the final blow. The View doesn't want strong women, they want obedient ones. Within minutes, her video went viral across every social media platform. Chark Cancel the View and Karoline Leavitt Downs the View trended worldwide, causing a seismic reaction across Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And just like that, things started to fall apart for The View. They never expected it. They thought they could mock Karoline, brush her off, and move on like nothing happened, but instead they handed her the biggest PR victory of her career. Now, ABC executives are scrambling in full-blown damage control mode. Leaked reports reveal that producers are furious about how this has spiraled into a PR crisis. Some executives are even questioning whether Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg are more of a liability than an asset. Sponsors are backing away, terrified of being tied to The View's toxic image. Behind the scenes, ABC is allegedly begging Karoline to drop her lawsuit before the situation gets even worse. And here's the kicker: The View's own audience is starting to turn on them. One viral comment says it all. The View claims to empower women, but mocks any woman who doesn't fit their agenda. Karoline Leavitt just exposed them for the frauds they are. As things continue to spiral, the writing is on the wall. For years, The View has played with fire, but this time they may have burned themselves beyond repair. The backlash is growing, and ABC is faced with a tough decision. Do they double down, or do they clean house? Either by fixing the show or canceling it altogether. Let's face it, The View thrives on controversy, but when the backlash becomes bigger than any ratings boost, the game is over. The damage control isn't working. Sponsors are pulling out, and ABC is running out of options. Is this the moment that finally takes The View down for good? Could we be watching the beginning of the end for daytime TV's most controversial show? Now it's your turn. Did The View go too far this time? Was Karoline Leavitt's lawsuit the wake-up call that the media needed? Do you think ABC will pull the plug on The View after this epic disaster? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss any breaking updates as this chaos continues. Trust me, it's far from over. Stay tuned.